Good afternoon, everyone. And my name is Abhilash. I'm from Gentle Bamboo, and I'm going to talk about something little crazy. It's called the second wheel, right? The second wheel. Before we get there, I have two quick stories to tell you. The first one is called The King and His Treasure, and the second story is called The Sculptor's Tale. The King and His Treasure is the first story, and The Sculptor's Tale is the second. The first story I want to tell you goes like this. Once upon a time, a king called his treasurer and asked him, "Dear treasurer, how much gold, silver, diamonds, and money do we have in our treasure?" That's it. That's the story. The moral of the story is that if you have to ask how much money you have and how much gold you have, what assets you have, what receivables you have, then you have not done a very good job of running this kingdom. You are, as a king, supposed to know exactly what is happening with your treasure. Now, what happens is whatever your treasurer tells you is what you have. He could take 20 diamonds, put it in his pocket, and say there's only 80 diamonds when there should have been 100, and you have no way to answer because you never kept track of that. Story number one. If it feels like a silly story, stay with me. It will make sense as soon as we come towards the middle of this session. The second story is one of the sculptor's tale. This is something that you might have heard of. A person is walking on a village road. It's a hot afternoon, dusty, and there's a sculptor sitting there with a stone, a big stone, and he is sculpting a statue in it. It's 95% done, 5% more to go, and it is about 2.5 feet tall and about 9, 10, 12 inches wide, right? It's the statue of a god. The the person who is walking by and sees with rapt attention how beautiful that statue is cannot but observe right next to it is yet another statue that looks exactly like the one that is being carved. No difference whatsoever. He cannot contain his curiosity anymore, goes and talks to the sculptor and says, "Sir, tell me this. Why are you creating two statues that look exactly alike? And this looks like a very beautiful, very intricate statue. I can't imagine putting two statues next to each other. That does not make a lot of sense. Why are you doing it twice?" The sculptor replies, "You know what? If you look carefully on the one that is lying on the ground, just near the neck, near the nose, you will see that there's a little nick, right? And because it is stone, I can't fix it. And therefore, I am creating yet another one because there was a problem with that statue." This guy looks at it and says, "I'm looking at it. I'm not able to find what the problem is. Where is this statue going to be put?" He says, "Up above that temple, about 45, 50 feet high on the Gopura." The person is even more confused. He's like, "Who is going to observe that there is a nick in that nose of the statue from that distance? I'm not able to figure the difference out between the two statues now, and I'm standing on the ground 40 feet above. Nobody would be able to figure out where the problem is." The sculptor says, "It is not for others, sir. It is for me. I will know there is a problem in my work, and my God will know there is a problem in the work I have done." Once the story is told, everybody claps. Good story. And they are like, "See, children, this is how it should be. Perfectionism. You do it for yourself." You know what I want to say to that? BS. That's not the kind of people we want to become. We don't want to become this sculptor in this story. We have to look at the big picture. Perfectionism of work and all of that is on one place, but we are also in a bloody pandemic, and we are in a recession. It is happening in front of us right now. If we are going to spend so much time polishing what is already pretty perfect, what will happen is that we will not have enough time left over to grow our business. And my job today is to talk about forget perfectionism, remember 80/20. 80/20 is about 20% of the effort you put gives you 80% of the results, and the other 80% of your effort is not noticeable because nobody is caring that much. Only you care that much about your work, the others don't. For others, you are just, a statue that is put on the thing, right? When everything is going smooth, when life is perfect, when business is on upswing, nothing can stop you. Please go ahead and become that perfectionist. When business is suffering, and I know now is a time when business is suffering for everyone, if you become a perfectionist about your product, you are going to lose out on your business. The next 5 minutes, I'm going to talk about something. Here's a problem. What is the second wheel now? I started this presentation saying I'm talking about second wheel, and then I tell you stories about the king and a treasure and a sculptor and all of that. The second wheel represents something. It assumes that there are two wheels. A business runs on two wheels. The first one is product. Your first wheel is the product that you're building. That could be your training program, that could be you yourself, how you groom yourself, how much you have polished yourself as a presenter, how much information you have collected, what research you have done. All of that is your product. The product is whatever your client is willing to pay you for. That could be a training program, that could be a consultation, that could be, a physical product, that could be an ebook, that could be an online course. All of these are products. The second wheel is distribution. There is sales, there is marketing, there is networking, there is franchising, there is various ways in which you find somebody who is willing to pay you for the product. Unfortunately for us creative types, right, we create new presentations, we teach people, we are knowledge people. What happens is that we spend far too much time on the first wheel, which is the product, and do not do enough on the second wheel. And today's session is going to be entirely about the second wheel, because I don't have to teach you enough about the first wheel, because you're taking care of it. The fact that you're attending courses and sessions to become better facilitators and presenters, that means you're already doing whatever needs to be done for the first wheel. The second wheel is where everybody struggles. That I know I care a lot about the first wheel. I know you care a lot about the first wheel. And in doing that, the second wheel gets ignored. What about the second wheel? If one wheel isn't moving, you will not go anywhere. Think of a cycle which has two wheels and one of them is not moving. You know what's even worse is that you will keep pedaling and you'll keep going around in circles. When one of the wheels is not moving, you will feel that you're making a lot of progress. Oh, I attended all these upskilling workshops, I attended so many courses, I spent 10 hours per day looking at great videos on training magazine or YouTube or this and that. You are working really hard on one wheel, and because the other wheel is not moving, you're just going around in circles. Business is not growing, and my job in a session is incomplete if I'm only focusing on one aspect of this bike. The second aspect is the next part. Here are a few ideas I have, and this is exactly how I live my life, how I do my business. And pandemic has been nothing other than explosive growth for my company. And I've been able to achieve that purely because of three big things that I'm doing. I'm doing something for the long term, I'm doing something for the medium term, and I'm doing something for the short term. And these logos are kind of representative, icons are representative of what I'm talking about. The three things that you need to do, and you have to think of yourself in a split personality way almost, that there is one personality of you which is the inspirational, motivational, uh, uh, trainer, facilitator person, and the second person is the person who feeds the family, who has to earn the money, who's the business owner, the entrepreneur, who is freelancer, who's working hard. And the long term, medium term, short term things that you have to do for your business are this. The long term thing is build a system with lots of moving parts, make contacts with people, build collaborations. Ashraf and my collaboration works like this, right? We both benefit from this. I have other collaborations going on because of which I get lots and lots of business from corporate entities. I do lots of free sessions, basically build a bunch of ecosystem people who kind of like me a little, who appreciate what I'm doing, and we create a sort of an ecosystem where we are helping out each other. We are not competitors here. Why am I sharing my best ideas with you? I'm sharing that because I believe that someday we will collaborate on some project, right? That is what building a system with lots of moving part means. Have lots of baskets, lots of eggs. One will work, one will not. Your website, your social media presence, your products that you're building, take all the knowledge you have, turn that into courses. Let nobody watch it, but you're building a big, ecosystem where whenever people are ready to come in, they are going to see a lot of it, and you have to constantly work on this. The medium term thing you can do is what I'm doing right now. Share your best ideas for free. I'm sure there is a charge to attend the sessions, but if you are part of my email list, I send out a daily email, and uh, I share everything that I'm doing, no hiding, no nothing. These are the best ideas I have. I don't have any better ideas. I'm not hoarding, better ideas from you and, sharing those half-hearted ideas with you. No, I'm giving you whatever I'm doing, no filter, straight. This is what I do. This is what you can do straight away. And many people who are recent friends because of the sessions that I'm doing or emails that I'm sending will vouch for it, that I share genuinely the best ideas I have. And that is your medium term target. It's not going to give you immediate value, but what will happen is that all of this has a way of coming back. I don't believe in karma or anything. What I do believe is that if you build enough friends along the way, one day they will all come together and help you build your empire. You have that slight selfish motivation, but there is an altruism behind it. That is the medium term target. Share your best ideas, find avenues, send emails, create videos, go on LinkedIn, help people, get jobs, help people change jobs. Uh, don't be only motivational or advisory. Give them practical stuff to do, right? That is exactly what you should do in the medium term. And in the short term, send that follow up email now. You have pitched to enough businesses, you have sent out those proposals, you have sent out at the end of this session, in the next 5 minutes, if there is one thing you can do, check into your inbox all the emails that you have sent in your sent box, and see how many have not been replied. Go there, hit on reply, and say, hey, I think we had a good thing going when we were discussing this project. I'm sure something fell off the radar. Do you want to pick it up and start talking about it again? Just these 3 sentences. 5 years ago, when I started doing this, that follow up email is not about reminding people, Arey, you had said this, you wanted to work with me, then what happened? You disappeared. None of that drama. You are not the center of anybody's universe. They have their own things going. You might have pitched a proposal, they might have said no to it at that time, or maybe they said yes and and they never got back to you. Follow up again. It takes one honest, frank, and professional email. Takes less than a minute to send. Look at everybody who has not responded to you, and just check in once more. Hey, remember when we were talking about this? Do you think it would be a good time to pick it up again? I have some new ideas that might actually help you. Do that. The fortune is in the follow up. Everybody who knows anything about sales will tell you the fortune is in the follow up. Send that follow up mail. They are not ignoring you, they have not forgotten you. They have a full fleshed life to live, and they you are but a small part in their life. Remind them, and they would want to come back and work with you. Send that follow up email. I will hang up. I will finish this video, say goodbye to all of you, and I want you to send out at least one follow up email to somebody whom you knew business would happen with but did not happen. Send that follow up email. Life will start changing because of just follow up emails. Get that second wheel moving. You worked hard on the first wheel. That's not the only wheel that will get you forward. Get the second wheel moving every single day. Every single day you have to work on the second wheel. It's not an optional thing. That is how you work. That is how you do business. If you want to become an independent, successful professional, doing stuff that you love, making impact in the world, you cannot ignore the second wheel. The second wheel is one of distribution, and you have to do what you need to do every single day without exception. Thank you.